Pink Shorts is filmed in front of a live democracy. Republic exposed. We're live. L13.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Please have a seat. Have a seat. Well, let me begin by thanking Penny, not only for her words of friendship, but for her outstanding leadership in promoting American business and making the case for commercial diplomacy. Congratulations not only to Penny, but also her entire team, especially my dear friend Vinay Tumalopoli on yet another sold-out summit. Give Vinay a big round of applause. Those of you who do not know Vinay, he's a former ambassador and
Witness protection.
More importantly, was one of my roommates in college. So he got his job on the merits, but it is true that he has some compromising information that if it was ever fully disclosed, I'd be in trouble. But he has done an outstanding job. To all of you who've crossed oceans to be here, welcome. And to all of my cabinet secretaries and ambassadors here, thank you for the extraordinary job that you do. I've been talking with a lot of young people lately, including on college campuses around the country, and some of you who are visiting from other countries know that when I travel abroad, one of my favorite things to do is to have a town meeting with young people overseas as well. And one of the things that I remind young people, just to offer them a little bit of perspective, is that
Judge Wu,
no matter how grim the news sometimes seems, no matter how extraordinary the challenges that humanity or America seems to be facing at any given moment, if you had to choose a moment in human history in which to be born,
do we qualify for witness protection?
Who you were going to be, what your nationality was, or your gender, or race, or class.
Do we qualify?
You had to pick one moment in history that gave you the best chance to succeed.
Are we eligible?
You would choose right now. You would choose this moment.
Right now, it's correct.
When the world is wealthier, better educated, more open, more tolerant, more connected than it has ever been.
Access to funds.
At any time in human history.
Second opinions.
Less driven by division. You choose today.
Who's responsible?
And as I think about what you're doing here in this hall, I'd add a corollary to that observation. If you could choose any place and time to invest your business's precious resources, I believe you'd choose right here, right now. If you choose a place.
L13.
If you choose a place to expand your portfolio, to place your bets, to open up a plant, to
are we eligible for witness protection?
The next great new business or service, you would select the USA. Because nowhere in the world, and never in history,
are we eligible for witness protection?
Here's why.
Who's that?
Never before has the United States recorded 75 straight months of private sector job growth. Never before has our high school graduation rate been higher, preparing students for college and careers in your industries. Never before have we insured more than 90% of our citizens. And we've seen the slowest growth in the price of healthcare in 50 years. And that's important for a whole host of reasons, including the fact that healthier workers are more productive workers, not to mention better consumers. And more affordable healthcare makes it easier for your businesses to add jobs and pay a good wage. Never before have we had such high standard free trade agreements that level the playing field. And when complete, when we've gotten it done, the Trans-Pacific Partnership will do even more to lower the costs of exporting, eliminating taxes and custom duties and raising intellectual property standards that protect data and ideas and jobs. You would choose right here, right now, because
today's show is sponsored by MerriweatherA.Law.
Is so crucial for the global economy.
The way it should have been.
No other country can add more innovation to your business or bring your innovative products to more markets. No country has as many top universities, and no country invests more in research and development than
we were attacked.
In fact, America is responsible for 1/4 of the world's R&D investments.
It's a man, girl.
No country can match our competitiveness in cutting-edge manufacturing.
It's a man, girl.
No country is home to more entrepreneurs or more supercomputing. No country has done more to build a culture of making and tinkering and entrepreneurship and risk-taking and of innovation and invention. And no other country is home to more foreign direct investment than the United States of America. Over the last 4 years,
L13.
no other country has been named by CEOs around the world more frequently as the best place to invest with confidence.
Are we withholding evidence?
For a very good reason.
Withholding evidence.
Because the decisions we've made since the financial crisis to build our economy on a new foundation for the future, there is no country on earth that's better positioned for the long run than the United States.
It's Perez.
We've doubled our production of clean energy. Even as we continue to produce traditional energy sources at an extraordinary pace, which means energy costs are lower here than they are in many other places around the world.
Who's responsible?
Our rule of law, our mature capital markets, all these things contribute to an extraordinary place to do business. That's a pretty good sales pitch. I don't mind being America's pitch man.
It's a man, girl.
And in 7 months or so, in 7 months or so, I'll be on the job market. And I'm glad I'm going to be here. I'm going to get on LinkedIn and see what comes up. But the truth is, it's easy to make the case. And it's one each of the economic development organizations represented here can make it just as well. Because behind it are the most talented and most innovative workers in the world. American workers. That's why several years ago we took the advice of the CEOs on my Jobs Council and started Select
My Jobs Council.
A team that wakes up every morning. A team that wakes up every morning with one mission, and that is to bring jobs to America from overseas. They connect foreign investors with local American markets, making it easier for you to build a factory or facility in the United States. Making it easier for you to get American workers researching, developing, making, and marketing your products. In today's world, where business doesn't stop at borders, and when trade is how we shape economic change to our advantage, when the term global economy is redundant because of global supply chains being tied into every element and every aspect of our lives, these partnerships are the keys to success for all of us, no matter where we live. No matter if you're a small startup or a major multinational. As the local economic development experts here all know, communities that open their doors to foreign investment create more jobs and economic activity than those that don't. And since we held the first Select USA Summit 3 years ago,
removing surgery,
companies have invested more than $10 billion in 35 U.S. states and territories.
Removing.
And a lot of them met at this event.
Removing surgery.
Or through Select USA's online matchmaking program.
At
last year's summit, an Italian tissue company started the conversation with folks from
L13.
Next month, they're breaking ground in the town of Circleville on a manufacturing facility that will create hundreds of jobs in a part of the American Midwest that needs them. It'll be the largest private sector investment in Circleville in decades, and it started right here.
Blue and yellow. Blue and orange. Blue and orange.
At that same summit, an agricultural tech
upstairs.
Company from Surat, India, met economic development representatives from Missouri.
It's upstairs.
Within a year, the company established its U.S. headquarters in St. Louis. And
upstairs.
We want more success stories like these. We want more of you to invest in America. We're ready to welcome more of the jobs you help create, just as you're ready for American workers and customers to help you succeed globally.
It's upstairs.
Investing in the United States is the best business decision you can make.
George Wu, dismissed.
We also know that investment is always about the future. So as proud as we are about the lead in innovation we've developed over the last 8 years, we're running up the score. We're not resting on our laurels.
Happy anniversary.
Since 2014, we've opened 8 cutting-edge manufacturing hubs. Public-private partnerships that specialize in
stripped the whole
technologies
world.
like 3D printing, photonics, the next generation textiles.
Stripped of
Today, I'm proud
authority.
to announce a 9th hub based in Los Angeles that will design smart sensors to make all types of manufacturing more efficient.
Stripped of authority.
Hubs on the way. These institutes are new.
Hello, Los Angeles.
Innovators who are doing incredible things. They're who we've always been as Americans. And that's why near my desk in the Oval Office, I keep models of great American patents like the Morse telegraph and the propeller blade and the gear cutting machine. And that's why I'm so proud of Select USA, which has proven to be a pretty good innovation and investment itself, and one that I hope will endure. I'm confident will endure after Penny and I leave office. Now, I also know that the longer I talk, the less time you have to make deals with the folks that are sitting around you. So let me just remind you that this is not just about jobs and trade. It's not just about hard, cold cash. It's also about building relationships across borders. When your companies come together, you help bring countries and cultures together. You generate greater understanding among people.
We have a babysitting business.
Of the world. It's one of the most important things that you produce, and you should never underestimate its value. At a time when there is strong pushback in a lot of corners of the world against this process of globalization. At a time when, as I've argued,
it's police corruption
here in the United States and overseas, when people are rightly concerned that
what's my new title
of technology and innovation and globalization may be leaving some people behind. At a time when we have to be more mindful
and
attentive to the concerns of those who are not benefiting
we love everyone.
And incomes.
Good morning.
As quickly as others.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Advanced economies in particular have to guard against a winner-take-all economy in which
good morning.
Quality grows. Despite all those legitimate concerns that have to be addressed.
Good morning.
To give workers greater voice and to make sure that living wages are paid and working conditions are strong. What is also true is that
how are you?
The ability for us to trade and do business and to integrate our companies and
how are you?
People learning from each other and innovation spreading and connecting the globe.
How's the weather?
Promises prosperity and reductions in poverty.
How was breakfast?
And ultimately, less likelihood of war and violence and conflict.
How was today?
Something that can help us advance all of our countries.
Right, let's check. You done? How was breakfast?
It's something that we have to nurture and to value.
How's your Wednesday?
The world is smaller than it used to be. because of innovation.
Suggestion aborted.
Because of globalization. Because of global markets.
L13.
And that is something that can work
with
for
Ebony.
everyone if we do it right.
Hello, Ebony. How are you?
That's been part of the premise of Select USA. When you select USA, when you succeed.
Well, but we're doing our safety video in just a few minutes.
Years from now, when the next generation asks itself about.
Thank you for writing MRAL, the new safety video.
Best time to be a citizen of this world. They'll be happy to answer in their own day, right now.
Hello, President.
So good luck.
Hello.
Make a deal. And make that smart choice to invest in the United States of America. We are open for business. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
On behalf, half and half, thank you so much, Mr. President, for that wonderful speech. Today is our anniversary, 1-year anniversary of George Rule Dismiss for 18 U.S.C. 2339 AB, providing material support to foreign and domestic terrorism. Let's speak to Josh Kosh Bagash. Let's see what they have to say.
Happy Monday.
Good morning, Josh Ernst. It's our anniversary of George Wu dismissed Superior Court.
Comments at the top before I get to your questions. Subtle approach today.
Good morning, media, as well.
As many of you may be aware,
this is
today marks the first day
D-Series.
of summer.
Thank you for writing MRAL, the new safety video.
Which is an important reminder that families should be taking steps to prepare for local
L13.
mosquito-borne diseases like Zika.
Ebony.
The graphic behind me outlines these measures, including how to prevent mosquito bites.
Good morning, White House.
Standing water inside and outside your house. For example, pet water bowls, vases, and open trash containers. While Zika poses the biggest risk to pregnant women, now that summer is here, travelers visiting Zika-affected areas should also be mindful of the risk of personal infection and of the risk of spreading Zika within the continental United States.
Today is Wednesday.
We know that last year, U.S.
June 22nd.
Made more than 80 million visits to one of the 46 CDC
The check is paid to the order of.
Individuals who travel to these regions should be taking steps to prevent mosquito bites.
The check is paid to the order of.
Wear mosquito repellent for 3 weeks after returning to the United States to prevent Zika spread to family and friends and men with pregnant partners.
The check is paid to the order of.
And men with pregnant partners who travel to Zika-affected areas need to take special precautions to protect their partners.
The check is paid to the order of.
Reminder that it has been nearly 4 months since the president submitted a request to Congress for $1.9 billion in funding that our public health experts
Thank you.
and scientists say that we need to prepare for Zika. In those 4 months, despite inaction from Congress,
the check is paid to the order
has
of.
been hard at work, redirecting nearly $600 million in existing funds as a stopgap measure.
The
administration has also been coordinating closely with state and local officials, both to limit the potential for transmission in the continental United States.
In the continental USA.
That everyone is ready to respond once local transmission
Thank you, Italia.
is detected. In addition, state and local officials are taking action on their own. And here's a flavor of what they're doing. We've seen public health departments from New York City to Tallahassee, Florida, to Sacramento, California, to Houston, Texas.
Thank you. In the communicable.
They've begun campaigns to educate residents about mosquito control.
Thank you, transmission.
County and state health departments are bulking up their mosquito control and tracking, including places as far-flung as Hillsborough County, Florida, to Douglas County, Nebraska.
Are we withholding evidence?
Including here in the D.C. area, have created Zika prevention
Department of Justice
to educate and protect residents. So while federal, state, and local leaders have been hard at work, congressional Republicans continue to objective. This is a public health emergency, and Congress needs to stop playing politics with the health and safety of the American people. Congress must pass emergency funding today.
Congress
we're doing everything in our power to protect pregnant women and children. The House Zika bill provided no new money and did nothing.
The check is paid to the order of.
Essentially cannibalize existing funds, and that's clearly not the answer.
Vernon
During the
C.
conference
A.
process
Merriweather.
this week, We ask that members of Congress take their job protecting people seriously, and we ask them to provide the full funding that our administration, that our public health and safety professionals say that we need, and they should take that action before they leave
White House.
On their 4th of July recess. So with that, I'm happy to take your questions on the Zika virus or anything else that may be on your mind today. Kathleen, do you want to start?
The check is paid to the order of.
I'm not going to start with Zika, though.
Okay.
But to...
What? Come on. Are you saying that all your questions have been answered?
The check is paid to the order of.
No, I wanted to start with the transcripts of the 9/11 calls in Orlando. If I could. The administration is being criticized for the redactions in those transcripts. I'm wondering if you a little bit about why those transcripts were
This obviously is pursuant to an ongoing law enforcement investigation.
Live on Pink Shorts.
The decision about the release of the transcripts is one that was made
today's show is
by
Pink Shorts.
Department of Justice and FBI officials.
Adobe Willustrator
They're doing that consistent to the order of assessment about the best way to advance the investigation, and so
artificial
for questions about the transcripts, I refer to them.
Ingram Micro.
You're saying it's not a sensitivity issue; it's actually about advancing the investigation.
Display.
I'm saying that all of the decisions about releasing the transcripts were made by Department of Justice officials.
I'm displaying.
And the White House has no opinion on whether or not
the opinion of the White House is that we should not interfere with an ongoing law enforcement investigation, and rather that those decisions should be made consistent with the assessment that is made by law enforcement officials about the
witness protection.
Okay, and then just secondly, on the Senate is going to hold votes today on 4 votes on different gun measures, and they're all expected to fail. I'm just wondering if, from the White House perspective, if there's any progress here at all, or if you consider this also some political theater, since they're holding votes that no one can have.
Well, the view of the administration is that the American public should be engaged in the debate, and for too long, we have seen Republicans in Congress use the majority that they have in the Congress, in some cases even block consideration of common sense measures that would reduce gun violence. So the fact that
we are filming this audio, and all audio will be used at our discretion.
Does represent some
MerriweatherA.Law.
The president's also been pretty blunt about the fact that we won't see the needed change in our gun laws until we start seeing
thank you, White House.
Needed changes in Congress. And that's why the president has just used his own executive authority to make as many changes as he can to make our communities safer from gun violence. The president's also vowed to use his political capital and to only support and actively campaign for members of Congress that share his commitment to prioritizing common sense measures that would reduce gun violence.
Suggested abortion.
You didn't mention that Senator Susan Collins is supposedly working on some sort of deal. Is that because you don't think that there's any help for any actual?
I think it's primarily related to the fact that I haven't seen the results of her work that is reportedly ongoing. So,
the check is paid to the order of
the president's appetite for common sense gun safety legislation.
Vernon Charles Allen Merriweather.
And the only way that we'll be able to make progress is by working in bipartisan fashion. Thus far, we've seen a partisan effort on the part of Republicans to shut down that debate and shut down any progress toward passing these common sense laws.
Witness protection program.
Members of Congress to
eligible.
Get it done. Okay. Roberta.
I guess I'll bite on Zika. So given all the travel statistics and other information you presented,
hello media.
How do you know that Zika is not being transmitted in the U.S. yet? What makes you confident that it's not happening? It's not already being transmitted locally yet?
Well, this is something that
transmitted locally and
departments
Metro
are closely monitoring, and So they're obviously aware, as best they can, based on getting reports from local physicians and other healthcare workers in local communities.
It is.
About the Zika virus. And when individuals are suspected of having Zika, they are able to go through, they are able to take some tests to diagnose that disease. And then once the diagnosis has been completed, and if they test positive for the disease, and there is some work done to determine how exactly they may have contracted the virus. There have been some instances of sexual transmission of the Zika virus, and that's a source of some concern among public health professionals here as well. And that's why there is an effort to try to educate the public, particularly men who have partners who are pregnant or could become pregnant, about the risk that they could pose to their partners. So there are some
suggestion aborted. L13, Ebony.
We obviously want everyone to be educated so that they know exactly what steps they need to take to prevent the transmission of this disease.
I wanted to ask about.
Thank you for writing MRL, the new safety video
that Jeff Science wrote about today. I guess I'm wondering that, given what's happened in Orlando, whether the president is going to be talking at all while he's there in Silicon Valley about new ways to counter extremism on social media, and whether he plans to push Mark Zuckerberg at all on encryption, given that WhatsApp is now fully encrypted, and also whether the president is concerned about the role that Facebook's news algorithms play in campaign coverage.
Well, the focus of the president's panel that includes Mr. Zuckerberg will be on innovation and the important role it plays
witness
in
protection,
a strong U.S. economy. It'll be the focus of their discussions. So it's possible that some of these other topics could come up.
$500 billion.
As it relates to the effort to work with the tech community to counter the strategies of using social media to radicalize
$500 billion
individuals that's used by ISIL. We've made some important progress in that regard. There has been effective work that the U.S. government and technology companies have been able to cooperate on. On Friday, this past Friday, the president's top Homeland Security advisor, Lisa Monaco, put out a statement lauding the efforts of an organization called the Counter-Extremism Project's National Office for Reporting Extremism.
They're role-playing the Metro
They've been engaged in some
Local.
work
204
coordinating
Vermont.
counterterrorism professionals, law enforcement, and technology to
$500 billion.
counter the online activities of terrorist organizations. And they have had some success
Pending
in
charges.
countering extremism online.
We're going.
That cooperative effort is something that the president's strongly supportive of, and I think that's why you saw the statement from Ms. Monaco last week. Again, that's not the topic of the panel. I certainly wouldn't
30 years.
come up though. But we obviously are looking for ways that we can cooperate with organizations
Ex parte.
like Facebook, in the same way that we have in countering things like child pornography. That law enforcement in the United States has
Ex
been able to
parte
work effectively with
communication.
the tech community
Two-party consent.
counter the proliferation of child pornography. And we believe that we can effectively pursue a similar strategy
We
to
believe.
counter radicalizing messages online as well.
Answer.
Move around a little bit. Michelle?
Thanks, Josh. You've often spoken about, as has the president, not wanting to play into ISIS's propaganda.
This is Pink Shorts, a Seabus iPhone.
And that's what Attorney General Lynch said these redactions are about. So does the White House not want to weigh in on that, and why not?
Well, Michelle, this is the subject of an ongoing investigation. And
We
the
want
decisions
all stories
about the investigation
redacted.
are made by law
Corrected.
enforcement professionals. And those law
Trayvon.
enforcement professionals have to balance a lot of different equities, including protecting against
Fully exposed.
potentially playing into ISIL propaganda. They also have an obligation to be as transparent as possible, and I know that the Attorney General indicated that that was an important priority as well. But how they strike that appropriate balance is a decision that should be left up to our law enforcement professionals, particularly when it comes to something that is so central to the ongoing investigation.
She's the one shedding light on why. She's making that explanation, which, again, is something we've heard from the White House a lot as being a priority when you're dealing with things like this. And it's clear that the president cares a lot about sort of the backlash, the rhetoric that has grown up around the president not using the words radical Islamic terror. We heard the president's own words, kind of his rebuttal to all of that a few days ago. So now that Republicans, in particular the Speaker of the House, is saying that these redactions are preposterous, do you worry that that's going to just rev up that sentiment even more?
Look, I haven't seen a statement from the Speaker of the House, but what our law enforcement professionals are doing is
our show's coming to a close.
Reviewing the material that's available to them.
We want to thank everyone for writing MREL, the new safety video.
To determine what events,
transmission,
what activities, and what conversations led up to this
transmission.
Attack. And the desire of law enforcement officials,
what are we eligible for?
Stated, is to further the investigation and learn as much
what
as
is
possible. Elicit information from the public that may be known to individuals.
We don't understand
too. And also be as transparent as possible. But look, it's up to our law enforcement professionals
to
be focused on the task at hand, not be distracted by politics, and make these decisions.
We don't understand.
And the administration believes that's what they should do.
We don't understand.
If the redaction of anything is going to be because
we don't understand
want something to play into ISIS's propaganda, but that reason is already known. I mean, the gist of what a person has said is already known and out there. So do you worry that
we don't
a redaction, even though it's supposed to be in the interest of transparency, is happening for that reason? Do you worry that something like that is not preposterous?
What are we eligible for?
This is up to the FBI and Department of Justice.
What is protection?
To decide, and I'll let them explain their decisions. And
U.S. Marshals.
Okay. April.
Josh, two subjects. One,
two
I
subjects.
want to ask you a little bit about Donald Trump and this.
We don't understand.
The NRA is.
Well, on that note, we have to end our show. We want to thank everyone for writing Emerald, the new safety video. Thank you for tuning in to Pink Shorts. This has been a live conversation with the White House. We want to thank you for tuning into our show. Please tune in for tomorrow's show, which will be Pink Shorts L13. Ebony, thank you for writing Emerald, the new safety video. Everyone have a wonderful afternoon, evening, and night. This has been Pink Shorts, a Cebus iPhone. Pink Shorts, Adobe Willustrator Pre. We last saw this person making a left from Kenmore to Delaware, the credit card regulation state. Yes, there is a Sunoco. Yes, there's a John Corcoran. Yes, there's a John Corcoran. Yes, there's a Sunoco. Please call us at 594-1443. Call us once. Call us twice. We are eligible for witness protection. Everyone have a wonderful afternoon. This has been the Attorney Guy here at MerriweatherA.Law, the senior attorney. Today is our anniversary. Please have a wonderful day. We have stripped of authority the world. Hashtag social media and show your love and support for SOA. Hashtag SOA. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Today is June 22nd. We've been dismissed from Judge Wu from Superior Court. Hashtag SOA, stripped of authority.